The next vocalization you're likely to encounter as we get closer to the rut is a buck trailing a doe or a buck that's seeking out a doe. And they may or may not be directly behind the doe when they're doing this. A doe may have came through moments before you got there and before you came into your stand, and this buck may be just a little bit behind her on her trail. And all you'll hear is it's a simple short burst of grunts. Sounds like this. You usually hear them in a series of 3 or 4, sometimes more, but typically around 3 or 4 grunts, somewhere in there. The other time you'll hear that is whenever a buck is on a doe and they're chasing through the timber. That'll sound a little bit deeper, and what's actually happening isn't a change in their vocalization. They're running, and just like you, whenever you run and make a vocalization or you try to talk after you're running or you're jumping, there's a little bit of air that's being forced into their lungs as they're making that sound, and that vocalization is going to appear a little bit louder, a little bit deeper. It's going to sound more like this. And it'll probably be a little more, the cadence will actually get a little bit closer, but that's typically whenever a buck's following a doe and is in pursuit of a doe. Now, the most common time I'm going to use a trailing grunt is typically whenever I've got a buck that's just out cruising around. I want to make him think that I've got a doe that's already come through and I've got a buck that's hot on a trail of a hot doe. So that's, for the most part, whenever I use that, whenever I know that a buck is actively seeking a doe. And the way you'll know that is they're moving at a pretty quick pace and they're cutting a lot of trails sideways across instead of walking the trails lengthwise. They're usually they look like they're on a mission, and they're going to be cutting as many trails as possible. Those are the ones that I know are really, really susceptible to that type of a grunt.
For a limited time, when you order the Extinguisher Deer Call, you'll receive a free Black Rack. That's right, you'll receive a free Black Rack rattling system with instructional DVD. Don't wait until all of the free Black Racks are gone. Order now. FreeBlackRack.com.